What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today I'm going to be going over some of the best exotic weapons to have for Season of Arrivals. The exotics on this list are hard-hitting, highly impactful weapons towards the activities that you'll be facing off against this season for Season of Arrivals. Now first off, I just want to say these are not in any particular ranked number overall. These are just the top 10 exotic weapons to yield this season. Honestly, when trying to narrow the list down any further than the top 10, I just really found myself trying to make ties for first, second, third, so on and so forth. So I digress though. These are the top 10 best exotics for Season of Arrivals. Let's go ahead and jump in. Outbreak Perfected is the first exotic we'll talk about, and let's face it, it's honestly always an amazing exotic to have. Outlaw, nanites that damage enemies and track down new enemies. And now, thanks to this season's armor that gives pulse rifle unstoppable abilities, well, the Outbreak Perfected is an absolute must-have exotic, but it is most certainly worth investing getting the catalyst leveled up as well. And if you thought I forgot about the Outbreak's PvP abilities, no sir or ma'am, I did not. The Outbreak can be devastating to enemy teams in pretty much every Crucible mode. Having nanites that can target and track down your enemies can be very effective at being able to weaken big groups of enemies from far away and finishing them off from that long range, or have those nanites track down your enemies, slide around the wall, and shotgun them to death. Either way, the Outbreak works out great in PvP. It's terrific, and while many right now would really probably be equipping the Suros as their kinetic exotic of choice, the Outbreak is definitely worthy of getting a nod. Anarchy is the next exotic for our list, and why shouldn't it be? It's literally a go-to boss killer on pretty much every raid team loadout. The Anarchy chains massive amounts of damage and deals out damage over time. And it's just pretty much unstoppable against bosses. It even penetrates shields that shouldn't be penetrated. Available through the Scourge of the Past raid, and now with a much higher drop rate, the Anarchy is much easier to get and is a must-have exotic for this season. Witherhoard is the next exotic on our list, and it's the newest addition to the exotic family. This kinetic grenade launcher creates a taken tether around its enemies. It really works well in PvP, but it does wonders in PvE. It's only available through the Season Pass for Season 11, and even though it's only been out for about a week, it's still amazing gun to have. I get that right now it is kind of broken. It's expecting some adjustments come next week in the season, but still yet I foresee it being a great exotic to keep even after the adjustments that are made. Graviton Lance is the next exotic on our list, and the reason being is much the same as the Outbreak Perfected. The Graviton has been around for much longer though, but it is just as impactful of a pulse rifle. With its ability to create Axion bombs upon precision kills that can spread to nearby enemies, continuing to kill more and more enemies, the Graviton has an amazing catalyst that improves its target acquisition, and with the new armor mod that gives it an amazing advantage against unstoppable champions, this season is definitely worth equipping the Graviton Lance in your loadout. Ariana's Vow is up next, and it's been the exotic to have since the inclusion of the champions. It's great for nightmare hunts, nightfalls, raids, dungeons, pretty much anything. This thing is an absolute terror against enemies and is a great addition to your loadouts. And now that you can purchase it from Raoul for exotic ciphers, the Ariana's is finally available again. The catalyst is really what sets this thing out. It has the ability to automatically reload, and it extends out your magazine from 6 to 9, making a really big difference for the Ariana's Vow, and definitely is a weapon to have for you guys. Divinity is the next exotic on our list, and I think it's for pretty understandable reasons. Not only does it stun overload champions, but it weakens any enemy, making them more susceptible to damage. Divinity pairs up well with almost any of the main DPS weapons, and it's heavily used in pretty much any end-game PvE activity. The Divinity is not easy to get though. It's available only through a special quest that is filled with puzzles that lead Guardians into the Garden of Salvation raid, requiring them to complete the raid and completing a series of puzzles along with it. Bad Juju is next up on our list, and for good reason. String of Curses is an amazing perk. The Bad Juju is an ultimate PvE weapon with its ability to provide super energy on kills and get boost to damage, but it also makes for a great weapon in PvP. Sadly though, with the auto rifle meta taking supreme in PvP, the Bad Juju doesn't really flip the bill, when it comes to things like trials or comp. But with the addition of Unstoppable, the Bad Juju can be very nasty up against champions. This can work really well in contact public events, nightfalls, nightmare hunts, and since it's not overly difficult to obtain, the Bad Juju should certainly be on your list of must-have exotics this season. You can visit the Tribute Hall to start your Bad Juju quest, but if you're after the Catalyst, it's going to take some time as you will have to complete several tributes to acquire it. Devil's Ruin is up next on our list. It is a seasonal weapon that will require you to use an exotic cipher to acquire. That is, if you don't already have it, of course. The Devil's Ruin is a very interesting weapon right now. It has the ability to stun champions, and its dual style archetype makes for some interesting battles. You can use it as a standard sidearm, which can be very effective in PvP and PvE, but then you can fire the charged up fusion beam that really applies some good DPS to adds and bosses alike. The Devil's Ruin should most certainly be a weapon that you guys add to your loadouts this season if it's not already there. Polaris Lance. What can I say about the Polaris Lance? Well, it's up next on our list. Its quest is long and tiring, a quest that will undoubtedly be changed after this season, but the Polaris Lance is an exotic scout rifle that for the last several months sat in many Guardians' vaults unused. Its main perk was broken. Polaris Lance offers some unique and explosive traits though that allows it to explode enemy targets on precision shots, and after 4 successful precision shots, your 5th shot is literally an explosive solar burst that unleashes huge DPS numbers. Did I also mention that continued precision shots return ammo directly to your magazine? Yeah, so why was it broken? Well, the 5th shot didn't actually work. The big explosive, wasn't working properly. So that's why a lot of Guardians put it away. Well, Bungie made some changes. It works again. And guys, I'm telling you, the Polaris Lance is amazing. It melts bosses. It really works well against all types of enemies. And if you thought that it wasn't good in PvP, well, actually it is really good in PvP. I've started seeing this all across the board in PvP, especially with warlocks that are floating around in the air. But by any means, Polaris Lance has become a very significant weapon to use right now. Even though it may not have Unstoppable like the pulse rifles do right now, I hope maybe next season, but by any means, this season, Polaris Lance has definitely come back into being what it was supposed to be. Now, you can pick it up through Mars. So you head to Mars, go to Anabray, you're going to be doing the Nascent Warsat quest, I think it was called. That is for this season. Next season, with Mars going away, we'll undoubtedly have a new way of getting the Polaris Lance, but if you're able to acquire it this season, by all means, get that added to your loadout and use it, guys. It's an amazing weapon right now. Trinity Ghoul is the final exotic that we'll be talking about today. And honestly, when the season began, the Trinity Ghoul was not on my mind at all as an exotic that I would want to use this season. But Bungie did something really amazing here. They gave it a catalyst that reduces its draw time and creates that elemental chain explosion on all precision kills, making the Trinity Ghoul surprisingly snappy and very, very lethal. Now, I wouldn't exactly say to throw it on and take it to PvP, as I would still rather take something like a Monarch if I were going to go with an exotic bow. But when it comes to PvE, the Trinity Ghoul has quickly become an extremely useful option in strikes, nightfalls, nightmare hunts, and more. I think the Trinity Ghoul is finally living up to its expectations now that the catalyst has finally been added in. Now you can acquire it by just completing strikes, nightfalls, and crucible activities, and to complete the catalyst you just got to get kills like pretty much most catalysts. So there you have it, Guardians, the top 10 best exotic weapons to have for Season 11, Season of Arrivals. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know this video is going to end up being a long one because of everything that we went over, but for those of you who are still watching, thank you very much. Let me know what your thoughts are on the best exotics for this season. If your exotic didn't make the list, then by all means let me know what it is and why you feel it should be among the list of top exotics for Season of Arrivals. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you have, be sure to hit that like button below. It's greatly appreciated, as is hitting the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Before you leave the video, be sure to check out my description below, where I've got a ton of the good links for you guys, one of which is to my Discord, where you can join the Profane Nation. Until next time though, this has been Profane, and I wish you guys some happy hunting.